Scream. Ah.
Ah!
Can you give us a scream?
Now, is this the first or 6?
No, this is the first ah.
This is the first
Yeah.
This is the first one.
Now it's the that came out in 96, not the one that came out in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a different ah.
Yeah.
Ah. I'm so scared.
So today we're watching and all through the movie we're just going to be ranking the screams.
Going ah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Out of 10.
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
That's a lot.
That's a good screamometer.
Screamometer.
A screamometer.
What is this?
This is a
What
movie. We are a podcast.
Oh, thank you. That clears it up.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad I could answer all these questions. And for all those at home who are asking questions, shut up. I can't answer you in real time.
I don't have any questions.
Well, I wasn't going to answer your questions anyway, Michael. Let's be honest.
I don't get answers?
Kitty, will you stop licking the back of my head like there's some fucking marmalade on there?
You got to quit putting marmalade on your head.
Well, I'm bald. I got to put something on my head.
That's a hat, not marmalade.
Not marmalade.
Not marmalade.
Oh, shit.
Did you confuse that again?
I did. I did miss that.
Tell you once, I tell you.
If I told you once, I told you twice. Marmalade is not a hat. I feel like I shouldn't have to tell you this multiple times.
Yeah. The fact that I've had to more than once is appalling to me. No jams on the noggin, Steve.
I'll jam on your noggin.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Take them to school.
We're just over here having fun.
I'm sorry. I turned it sexual. It got weird.
Kind of makes me want to...
Full circle. This came out in 1996.
It's my movie.
It's your birth year movie.
It's my birth year movie.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to...
That's copyrighted.
Is it really?
I think it's still copyrighted. I don't think you can sing happy birthday.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So if we ever record on one of your birthdays, it's going to be a real sad podcast. we can't talk about it.
We can do one of these, but there'll be no singing at all.
At all. Anyway, ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
You got a nice voice.
Thank you.
What's your favorite podcast?
Every film in the book.
That sounds stupid.
It's a wrong answer. Steve dies.
Your boyfriend on the deck is about to get gut.
Well, welcome.
Welcome.
To every film in the book, the worst podcast there is.
Check it out. We're on the Guinness Book of World Records for worst people ever to talk.
I don't want to be included in that.
No.
Unfortunately, you are. Welcome.
Yes, this year, this day, today, we were watching Scream.
Scream. Ah! It's so scary.
So scary.
This was one of the first movies I actually bought by myself.
Oh, yeah?
Because I saw, the spoof movie, Scary Movie first. And then I was like, well, I should at least see what Scream's all about. And this beginning scene kind of like fucked me up for a good week or so.
Oh, yeah?
You found out about Scream through
Scary Movie.
Actually,
Yeah.
I think I saw Scary Movie first, too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
definitely
it was-
watched that earlier.
What is wrong with you people? What is wrong with
I
you?
don't know.
I had more access to comedies than I did horror.
That's. I feel like that's on you.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Wow.
you only grow up once.
Yeah. Well, this movie is as old as I am because I was born in 96 and that's when this movie came out.
Yeah.
So,
Look at that.
yeah, but I definitely didn't watch Scream until I was at least 20? I don't know. Something like that.
When did we start dating? I'm pretty sure that's when I showed you
Yeah.
Scream.
So, yeah, it took me a while to see this movie, but man, it is a classic.
It's a whodunit with murder.
Yeah. But all whodunits are with murder.
Yeah, but this one's got extra murder.
It's normally who did the murder.
Yeah.
Done it implies
How come-
murder.
How come it's never like who didn't do their taxes? Like that's
Who
the
didn't
whodunit.
do it?
Who didn't pay the parking ticket and their car's getting repoed.
Who didn't file for their W-2?
Who done it?
They're all just really sad movies. If it's not murder, who can't afford their mortgage? It's just a sad guy.
But yeah, this one's definitely who did the murder.
Who
Because
left the pizza out all night?
There's a murder right away.
Oh yeah, well you got to start off every good movie with a murder, especially if
Sure.
they're a really famous actress.
Oh yeah.
But this is the only when they were casting Drew Barrymore for this, she only wanted to be in it if she could be the first one to die. Like she's like, I want to do
Whoa.
it, but I can't be in the movie.
She's the second one to die technically.
Oh shit, they got her on a technicality.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I wonder if she can sue. I said I wanted to be the first murder.
Yeah, although the first murder that we see, and I'm sure everybody's seen Scream. We're not going to go, super detailed here, but we're just kind of giving our thoughts and opinions on this great movie.
Yeah, we're definitely not doing this because Scream 6 is coming out.
yeah,
It's definitely
definitely
not
not.
a thing that's...
No.
It's not related at all.
Yes,
Timing
but
something on purpose? Makes me want to scream.
so this opening scene is obviously very iconic, and it sets up all the other.
It's been parodied
Scream.
more times than I think most things.
Oh, yeah.
Than The Matrix.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, so the first death is actually Steve. So sorry, Steve, you had to die.
That's cool. I'll be sitting out for the rest of this one.
Yep, duct taped to a lawn chair and slashed in the stomach.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll just chime in with some fun facts as you guys need me. But I'm
Oh,
dead.
yeah.
A Steve fact.
Steve fact. Hold on.
Oh,
Shit,
yeah.
my insides are out.
Put it back in and get a Steve fact. It's your
Thanks.
only job.
Just sew it up for you.
Yeah, hit us with a Steve fact.
Oh, yeah, here you go. Drew Barrymore was only on set for 5 days. She filmed all of this in 5 days.
Okay, now
Wow.
read it again in your regular voice.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Drew Barrymore was
Yeah.
actually only on set for 5 days.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that's good.
Well,
That's good.
It also seems like they could have done this in less than 5 days, but sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, I feel like this is like an evening.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, not too much happened. Like she ran from room to room. Like they could have got that in 8 hours.
But
I think
the
they were milking it.
first 4 days was just mentally breaking her down.
Yeah, they
So,
really needed
yeah.
her to be sad.
Yeah.
They burnt so much popcorn. They're just like, oh, you better be crying now,
This is the
bitch.
58th bag. No one gets to eat any of it
Uh.
until you film the scene right.
It's sad.
Not that
So-
anyone wants to eat it. It's burnt. It's burnt to
Yeah.
shit. That
I
thing was
think-
on fire.
I think the time constraints is more, they're trying not to rush their art
Yeah.
than,
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
fair. But yeah, so Drew Barrymore is I thought she was the main character, and this is kind of the first movie to you bring in that big name actress and then you kill her in the first couple minutes. They definitely took some influence from Psycho. You get Janet
Mhm.
Leigh in there and you're like, oh shit, we're following the Janet Leigh movie, and then she gets murdered and you're like, well, I don't like any of the other characters, so I guess I'm checking out.
Yeah, but also this movie very obviously is also mirroring a bunch of other movies, a lot of classics, and that's kind of their whole shtick, is that they're basically trying to show us a horror movie with all the stereotypical
their
elements we get from a
meta
horror
is
movie.
shit.
Yeah.
That was their whole point.
Yeah.
They're like, we're
Yeah.
going to make a movie that makes fun of other horror movies and talks about the
of
tropes.
course, it's very self-aware and
Mhm. But then
Oh.
they also give us a completely different story than we've ever seen before.
Yeah. Well, and I like that the characters are savvy to horror movies. It's a bunch of film nerds, and they're like, oh, well, we're in this situation. Let's use the movies to help us out of this situation.
right.
Yeah.
Even though they end up just going against every movie that they've seen.
Mhm.
After, the killer is kind of established in the town, and we're off to the races, and Sydney's in her house, and she's like, oh, I'm not some like big breasted bimbo who will just like run upstairs when I should be running out the front door, when she literally runs upstairs instead of running out the front door.
Right. But she's also put in a situation where she couldn't run out the front door because that's where the killer just came in from. So,
well, okay, so that scene. Now, I'm going to turn to Michael for this one.
Oh boy.
So,
oh boy.
if you were murdering somebody, like in the context of this scene,
Hypothetically.
either Billy or Stu was hiding in that closet from the moment she got home from school to the moment she like gets the phone call at like 7 p.m. Like, would you wait that long, or would you just like
100%.
see a sleeping person and be like, now's my chance?
No. If you're trying to see, because for the theatrical ones, the theatrics is what gets them going, not the killing itself. Like that's just the, cherry on the top.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
He's trying to get to like Killer Broadway. He's really like
he's really
yeah,
on it.
that's how they, get off or whatever.
Yeah, you practice, and then you get to Carnegie Hall.
Nah, but if I was trying to get you in a certain way, I'd wait in the closet for like a day.
Like a day?
Yeah,
God.
if you're hunting.
Yeah, but you're going to be in there with all your pee. Like, where are you going to pee?
A water
Take
bottle?
a
I don't
Gatorade,
know.
right?
Yeah.
Take a Gatorade with you. You'll
Take
be
a
fine.
Gatorade and a Cliff Bar. You'll be fine.
Right?
That's all the protein and
Put a-
energy you need.
Yeah.
Get a bucket and a flashlight. You're good for a week.
All you need is a bucket, really.
A bucket and a
You don't even need the flashlight.
Yeah, that's only if you want to read at night while you're
Yeah.
trying to kill some time. Jesus Christ. But yeah, like that was the one thing about that one scene, when she's in her house and like he comes busting out of this closet. I'm like, were you waiting there for like 8 hours?
there
She
the
was
whole time.
asleep for like three hours.
Like, no, let her get her nap in.
Yeah.
We'll kill her later.
Oh man, I like killing when they're freshly rested.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you kill someone in their sleep, it's not even fun.
Yeah, it's not even a challenge at that point, I guess.
There's no chase.
Like he put on a full on Halloween costume for this. He's not. I guess he didn't want to like
right?
get it over too fast. Sorry.
I almost started murdering.
Sorry, brief intermission while Steve
Sorry.
rose up over there.
Puts his throat back in.
Sorry, I was screaming.
Somebody in the house.
Oh, hit us with another fun fact, Steve.
Hit us with another fun fact. All right, this movie was originally called Scary Movie.
Scary movie?
See, now you're just making stuff
No,
up.
that was the original title for this movie. Was called Scary Movie.
Really?
And that's
Why
why
they
they
made Scary
that's why
Movie?
they say the phrase "scary movie" so often in the film. Yeah.
Interesting.
There's a fun fact for you.
All
Yeah,
right,
bet you
that's
never
fun.
knew that.
Sure. What about one more?
Weak
One
sauce.
more?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a better one.
Okay, well this one's fun. So all the high school scenes were supposed to be shot at Santa Rosa High School, but a few days before filming was supposed to start, they said, "Nah, your movie's too violent. We don't want it." And like they originally thought they were coming to film like a teen comedy in their high school. So when
Not
they
quite.
when
Not
they
quite.
figured out there was murder, they're like, "Nah, get out of here." So at the end of the credits or at the start of the credits, there's actually a little note that says, "With no thanks to Santa Rosa High School." Like, I was like, that's so.
Fuck
I was like,
you.
that's petty as shit. I love it.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's
no,
sweet.
I was like, don't mess with Wes Craven. he's angry.
So that was a last minute high school they booked, huh?
Yeah, they ended up having to go back to California or
Mm.
like some other place in California to film.
All right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and they scrambled, but they pulled through. They came out with a pretty good high school setting.
Yeah, and there's nothing was too violent in the school.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
like,
all the violent stuff would have been filmed at a different location, so they could have got away with that.
yeah,
True.
they would have been fine.
You think they were lying though? They're like,
Oh,
oh, yeah,
100%. This is a
comedy.
teen. It's friendly,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they'll
Great
be
for the
laughing to
teens.
death.
right? It's dare I say educational. If you're trying to murder,
Yeah,
Let's
so the spleen's over here, the stomach's on that side.
Let's just say our film is a cut above the rest.
oh, there you go.
What a guffaw.
But yeah, this movie is not the best kill-wise per se, but it's definitely the most original film of this time, I guess, because it came off after all of the other like classics or the first movie in a franchise. So it was a later franchise to get started, but I mean, this movie really
Yeah, I mean, it changed the face of like slasher films. Like
really
after
did.
this came out, every freaking movie was a whodunit. It was always a mass killer, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I wonder if it's Teddy. Oh shit, it was Bob."
Yeah, there's quite a big influence. And
Yeah.
then even like you said at the beginning, that just people in a horror film being on a cell phone.
Yeah.
You know.
Like that was so above its time. Like because of this movie, everybody went out and got caller ID because they're like, "Oh shit, I
Right.
need to know who's calling
we
me
need to
like
know.
constantly." Like it's like Jaws. You know, people didn't want to go to the beach after they saw Jaws. Like this one, everybody wanted caller ID. Like after Psycho, nobody wanted to go in the shower alone.
Wow.
They're like, "I'm gonna get stabbed."
I don't know about
swear."
you. I prefer to be alone when I shower.
I take
I don't
baths.
want 7 other people there.
I really enjoy having my 7 friends with me as
Right? It's a big shower.
Hey Joe, hey Jeff, I'm gonna shower in like 20 minutes. You want to come?
Oh, they're coming already.
You got the good soap?
God.
Oh. Another fun fact, Steve.
Another fun fact.
You have so
okay.
many over there.
Yeah, I know. Look at all these fun facts. Okay, so
Too many.
Drew Barrymore's dad tells his wife to go run down to the Mackenzies, and that's what Jamie Lee Curtis tells the kid she's babysitting in the original Halloween.
Oh.
To run to the Mackenzies and call the cops.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
Fun
will
fact.
say I really enjoy their use of the Halloween themes during
Oh yeah,
all
that
of their
whole
chase
ending
scenes.
scene is
Yeah.
like I love that they set it to it, and like even Dewey like kicks open a closet door to
Yeah.
like the sound of like the doo-doo-doo.
Right. Every
was
now and
so
then you get
cool.
the doo-doo-doo.
Well, the one thing with that I did like was they took that part much more seriously.
Yeah.
When that music kicked in, it was more well done. It wasn't part of the goofy stuff you're supposed to be hemming and hawing about.
Yeah.
Like, "You hit me with the phone, you dick."
Oh, there's a little comedy there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it took like it was a nice blend where there were some scenes where you're like, "Holy shit!" Like Drew Barrymore's insides are hanging on the ground,
Yeah.
and then you got other points where you're like, "Oh man, he's making a stupid pun like liver alone," like
Right?
like it's
They
it's
sh-
such a fun.
Yeah, they show that graphic stuff early, and so we're like, okay, it's gonna be this type. Oh, ooh, gee whiz, this might be rough. And then they start having a bunch of fun with it,
Oh yeah,
and then you get a mixture of both. And then it kind of mellows out towards the end when the whole plan unfolds, but it kind of has a nice little flow to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I love like the Jamie Kennedy character. I think he's Randy, like the movie nerd.
Oh, yeah.
Like I love his scene in the
At the party?
Blockbuster or whatever it is.
Oh.
And he's like, "Everyone's a suspect."
Just
It's like
gets
"Oh."
fired up about it real fast.
It's like, "Oh, there's a million reasons to kill your girlfriend."
Right? The lady in the background just looks at him.
Like,
It's like, what is anybody else hearing this? Like, we might need to call.
Of course, his friend's just goading him into saying
Yeah,
more and
seriously.
more and louder and louder.
But I do like his scene too later on when the mass killers, I don't know which one it is, walking through the house, and he's watching Halloween, and he's like, "Behind you, Jamie, look behind you." And of course, killer's coming up behind him. And yeah, that's another one of those iconic scenes where you're like, "You're doing the thing, buddy."
Well, and
You need
again,
to turn around.
this kind of goes back to the like I hate when they name or like they're using like the actor's real name in the dialogue because like he's literally telling himself to look behind him.
Oh,
Like there's literally a killer behind him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, that's too on the nose.
And we even saw it on a screen. We
Yeah.
were even watching him.
Yeah.
We were
on a-
watching him watch
We
a
were
thing.
on a screen, on a screen, on a screen.
And then you see him being recorded in the van
yeah.
on a screen, just 30-second delay. And yeah,
Just like the movie.
just like the
Oh my
movie.
Oh
god,
my
it's
word.
like he was watching a movie that we were watching a movie that the cameraman was watching a movie.
Right, but there was a cameraman in the van.
Yeah,
too.
Mike
Yeah.
Piazza.
I don't think that was
That
Mike
guy
Piazza.
looks so much like Mike Piazza.
Mike Piazza does not have as good reaction time because he gets stuck.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, Steve, you got to hit us with another fun fact.
Another fun
Another
fact?
fun fact,
Oh,
please.
here's a little controversial one. The
Yeah.
ghost face robe was originally going to be white,
Oh.
but for obvious reasons, you couldn't have a white robe with the hood up. So they made it black.
Ooh, was the hood a little
It was a little pointy.
A little pointy?
Would this have probably conveyed a different message than the film creators intended?
Yes.
I don't think it would have been as successful of a franchise.
Probably not.
Yeah, a fully white clad guy like running around. Yeah, you're going to cause some problems there.
Yeah. But at least he killed white people.
Yeah. I mean, his only victims were white. So, I mean, yeah.
The whole movie was white people.
Oh, Ghostface, more like it. Oh, shit.
Anyway.
Here's another one.
Yeah?
Because I got them for days.
Why'd you get so many?
Because I'm thorough.
No, that's just, no.
So Courtney Cox, famous for Friends, wanted to play a bitch.
She wanted to play a bitch?
Yes. And she kept going back to the casting director saying, like, come on, let me be a bitch. I got to break off this, like, Friends persona, and, like, everybody thinks I'm a certain thing. So, like, they originally didn't want to cast her because they only knew her from Friends. And they're like, oh, well, you're a kind-hearted person in that. And she's like, no, fuck you. I want to be a bitch.
Right.
And they're like, all right, bitch. You can do it.
And they're like, all right, well, let's introduce you to Gail Weathers.
She dresses down the cameraman the one time. You move your fat ass.
Your fat tub of lard ass.
Yeah, she does great in this role.
Yeah,
I hate her.
Yeah, like, she does a good, like, slimy reporter. Like, you want to hate her, and when Sydney punches her, you're like, fuck yeah, Sydney, kill her.
Right?
Like, get on top, keep raining blows on her. It's the UFC, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she even says, like, oh, if I was able to save that person, do you know what that would do for my ratings? Like, not like you'd save the person that's in trouble. It's like, my ratings will go up.
Yeah, no, like, she just wanted it for her career.
And then she says about them finding more bodies or something, and what a story that would be.
Right? Oh, we could only hope.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like her character arc throughout, like, all of these sequels coming up, where, like, everything is just about furthering her career. The only reason she shows up for half of these murders is she's got to, get something out of it. She's got to write another book. She's got to be on TV more. She's got to do this. So, like, it's kind of nice to see her go through the movies, and, like, by the third one or the fourth one, she's just like, I'm just here to fucking solve it. Like, I don't even care anymore. Like,
right?
I want to know.
Yeah, you definitely see her growth throughout the movies. And, of course, we also have Sydney and Dewey and
Deputy Dewey.
Yeah, some of the original characters, the ones who didn't die throughout the rest of the movies.
They're what is now being referred to as the legacy characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're calling them?
Yeah, they're calling them the legacy characters.
Why?
Like Jamie. Yeah,
yeah, like Jamie Lee Curtis is a legacy character.
Mm-hmm.
And that lady from Texas Chainsaw that just got thrown through the wall.
Yeah, remember when we watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Plug our own show. Follow us on EFB.
Yeah. What a terrible movie that was. But
the new one?
Yeah.
That was
awful.
We're not going to talk about that one.
That movie sucked.
But yeah, I will say, for such a great start that the Scream franchise, started with, it definitely didn't stay on that same level.
Yeah, it definitely dropped.
No.
Yeah.
The second one definitely felt rushed, because I'm going to use that as a segue into another one of my fun facts.
Oh shit.
So they rushed the second one to the point where they put the trailer for it as an end credit scene on, like, the videotape of the original pressing of Scream. So, like, it's like, as soon as it got through, like, its first run and they were putting it on home video, they're like, okay, we have to have the second one ready and done by the time this hits, so we can put the trailer for it at the end of the original.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they weren't even waiting to see how it did.
No, they were just like, fuck it, green light it, go.
They were already filming.
Yeah, like, it I think they said it made like $6 million in its opening weekend, and they released it in December. So that was kind of like an odd time to put out a horror movie.
Right.
But yeah, after that, like, word of mouth got around, I think it got up to like 100 million by like the next couple months.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it definitely did well for what it was, and for the time it was released. Like, that's insane. You would think
it's pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, you would think you would want like another like Will Ferrell elf movie or something, during Christmas, not teens getting stabbed.
But it's a good one.
To each their own.
It's definitely a good one.
Oh yeah, I mean this is one of my favorites.
Yeah. I think you've said before, Steve, this is pretty much your favorite horror movie.
Yeah, I mean,
like standalone.
Yeah, like I love whodunits, and then you put it in the context of a slasher movie. I'm like, I'm in heaven. This is great.
Well, I think I liked, especially in this original one, where they don't take themselves too seriously, but it's still a good slasher. Like, it's a good story,
Right.
and you actually, not that you have to pay attention, but there's a bunch of different people and character lines, and she thinks he did it, gets him arrested. Well, he doesn't. So there's a decent bit of story in there.
Yeah, and like there's clues that they drop, especially in the sequels, that pretty much give away who the killer is from the beginning. And if you kind of know what you're looking for,
Yeah.
you can start picking them out like before the movie's even finished.
And after the first one, like the first one does a good job of the killers, like, I don't know, exposing themselves when you think back about it. So
Yeah.
now you're looking for it in the future, and we see even more stuff, which is kind of neat that they kept doing that.
But yeah, the best part about that was that you are expecting there to be one killer and it's two. So like that was the biggest twist of this movie that made it like more iconic, is that it wasn't just one person you're looking out for, you're looking for two, and you weren't expecting that to begin with because they keep switching the same costume. Like you only see them ever one time in a scene, so you don't suspect there to be two killers. So yeah, that was definitely like the oh shit moment.
A little twist there. Yeah.
Because like it wasn't like, Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger. Like, the name of the killer. Like this, it's Ghostface, because it's like you don't know who's under that. And as the movies progress, it's like it can't possibly be the same person every time.
Yeah, because they
Right.
always die.
Yeah,
Right.
they always
They're
die.
A
always
bunch of
gonna
them
die.
get pretty messed up.
Yeah, it's a great way to like continue your franchise without having to have like a set in stone. It's not like Billy Loomis is the killer through all of them, and
Right.
we already know it. Like,
Right.
It's
And
so much more fun.
I think if they would have found like a specific actor that worked, they would have kept him in for a few movies. Like,
Right.
I'm sure they would have been open to that as well. But I just don't think any like those two are obviously the originals.
Right.
But the rest of the killers throughout the franchise, you can kind of take them or leave them.
Yeah, I mean they're very forgettable as they
Yeah.
go on. Like even one of the things I found was like Billy and Stu are the only killers mentioned by name throughout the rest of the sequels.
Right.
Like, everybody's only talking about Billy and Stu.
It is kind of nice to have a horror film where, well, I'm watching it for the victims, not like you watch it because the victims are good, not the killer's good.
Right.
Where
right.
a lot of other ones, it's like, well, I like Michael Myers. Let's watch him stab people.
Yeah.
True,
like you're
true.
rooting for
Yeah, we're
Michael
rooting.
Myers. You're not really rooting
No,
for
I'm not. I'm
Yeah.
not rooting for this guy here.
Yeah.
I'm rooting
Yeah.
for the victims in this.
But the other bad thing about this is, or like the whole killer setup where it's always somebody different, is it does seem, or it feels a little bit like it's just rehashing the same thing over and over again. And they do try to take different turns throughout the movies, but I think that's one of the reasons why the following movies didn't really stick the same as this one, is because it's not as much of a twist. We all know there's going to be a killer under there that you don't expect, and maybe it's more than one, who knows. But yeah, the first one, super solid. The following few, maybe not so much. And Scream 5 has been the most recent up to date at the time that we're watching this that has been released. And we have seen that one time before.
Yeah, we only saw it the one time.
And, we're going to go back and we're going to watch it again. And we're going to see how that one compares to this Scream right here, the original.
Yeah, maybe it'll make us go, ha, more. Yeah, but, you did make some good points there. And, like, I feel like, as the sequels go on, it's almost like where can you go?
Right.
Like, everything, this movie is very meta, and they, not like break the fourth wall, but they bring classic movies into it, and they, build off of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, as the sequels go on, like, and they get more and more meta, and there's more and more references, and everybody's kind of like has like their own shtick of like, oh, I wonder if I'm the killer because I'm a virgin, or I wonder if I'm the killer because I, had sex at 12 or something. So
Okay.
like,
All right.
But like, you're kind of right. Like, where do you go from there? And it does kind of like feel almost played out by the time you get to the third one or you get to the fourth one.
Well,
Yeah.
they tried some different things.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It's one of those franchises where not all of them were good.
Yeah.
Like, not all of them, not everything they changed was changed for the better, for
Right.
sure.
It's
But,
always hard to stick to the original, and it's probably never going to be as good. I'm sorry.
Wow, and
but-
it's hard to. We were 50% meta for that film.
Yeah.
So for the
Yeah.
sequel, we need to be 55% meta.
Right.
Yeah.
And when they get down to 5, it's like, okay, we have to be 95% more meta than we
Yeah.
were to
At this
stay
point,
relevant.
you're just going to start
Yeah.
seeing cameras and boom mics in the
Right.
background.
There's only so far you can go with that.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
we're making a movie of making a movie while filming a movie.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, they do that in the future ones where they, play off of this whole stab movie.
Oh, yeah. I almost
and-
forgot about those.
Yeah, so that's what is carrying the rest of the movies is this series
The
of stab movies,
franchise.
Yeah.
which is a play on their own movie, Scream.
Yeah, it's a movie inside of a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you imagine writing that? They're like, all right, I got to write a movie into my movie, but the movie I'm writing is the first movie and making up sequels now for it.
Yes.
Like, it's insane. But, yeah.
Some actual thought process.
Yeah, no, but it's like, I don't know. I when I first saw this, like, I fell in love with the dude on the phone, and he's just like asking
You
stupid.
fell in love with the dude on
Right?
the phone?
Oh, yeah.
Right. He went hard for it early.
Sorry, go on.
Because, like,
Tell us about how you love
Yeah.
him.
I like when the killer gets involved. Like, there's that when a stranger calls and he's like on the phone and it's just a creepy voice and you don't know who it is. Like, there's something about that that's so unsettling, and especially in the context of these characters when they're home alone. Some like random guy's like, "Hey, I just want to see what your insides look like. I don't think I'm asking too much."
Yeah, that is definitely creepy for sure.
Yeah, like that. I mean, the opening, the ending chase scene, like, it's all so good in my eyes. I mean,
Yeah.
it's outside of like some of the like shitty like teenage high school drama dialogue, like, oh, it's like, I'm sorry if my like traumatized existence is a problem for your perfect life. It's like, all right, come on. It's a little
Oh.
goofy.
True.
Now, like I said earlier, when they do take the movie seriously, like those chase scenes you're talking
Yeah.
about, and then the ending sequence, I felt that they did a great job at the first time doing the movie, and then
Yeah.
they definitely start slacking a bit with even how some of the kills are.
Yeah.
But I don't know, they kind of become different. Where the first one here, it's definitely a certain style where the killing is happening. And then even though we know it's a different person, I guess I'm expecting it to be killed in the same style.
Right.
But it's a different person each time. So that's kind of gets a little tricky to navigate with which kills are better than the other films.
Right. And again, this one isn't really about the kills per se. It's more about the killer versus the victim dynamic. So, this isn't really, I wouldn't even consider this a slasher per se, because it's, it's not about the murders. I watch a Michael Myers movie, I want to see the kills, you know?
Right.
Right. Somebody needs stuck to a wall.
Right.
Somebody's head needs squished.
But this one, there isn't that like stereotypical, like, you have to have like a murder every 6 minutes or something.
Right.
Right,
The killing
right.
staple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of figuring out who's behind the mask and how they relate to Sydney
Right.
than it is about like, oh man, that girl got hung in the garage door. That's weird.
Oh.
The strongest. What'd you say? Is that motor on that garage door is crazy.
Yeah, I was
Really
like that.
strong.
It's like made out of pure metal or something to
Right.
hold that body weight.
Platinum.
It's platinum.
It's a
Hell
platinum
yeah.
garage
Yeah.
door.
Spent $12 million on my garage door just
Kinda-
for some girl to get hung
All
in it.
platinum.
Kind of makes me want to.
I told you we should have made the dog door bigger.
She couldn't fit.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you have another Steve fact over
I
there?
have a few more Steve
Oh,
facts.
She was. He wasn't kidding. He stayed
Yeah,
loaded
rapid fire
with them.
these off here.
Okay, so that last scene,
Yeah.
Mhm.
the big chase scene, they
Mhm.
called it scene 118.
118.
Now, this took 21 days to shoot, and they would shoot from sundown to sunup straight for 21 days.
Wow.
they by the time this scene was over, everybody was so exhausted and annoyed and like just wanted to be done. They all had shirts made that said "I survived scene 118," and like it was kind of like a big like morale booster for everyone. They're like, we got through it. Yeah, fuck yeah, we made a movie.
Was that the last scene they filmed?
Yeah, that was the last scene they shot.
Okay,
was all that,
and they decided to do the most work at the end.
Yep, and like in multiple takes. Like Sydney's got to keep screaming, and like the killers are keep being physical and like getting smashed into stuff and like all that. So like, by the time they were done, like
it's a long sequence.
Yeah. Well, it's 42 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
It's this whole ending scene.
That's true. That's a good point.
And it's also something to say that, the character building that they do throughout the movie has to lead up to that scene. So it makes sense that they would want to film that
right
towards the end, because you don't want to start off with that. Like you're not going to have the same energy from your actors if it's like, all right, day one, let's go. You're going to start killing people,
Yeah, and they didn't want to like spoil who the killer was yet, because they didn't tell the actors until it came to that point. It's like, oh, you're going to be the killer. You're going to be the killer. Because like they wanted to, stop things from getting out. And like they did that with the second one as well, where that the whole script was actually leaked online. So they rewrote it completely to be two different killers. Like it was originally supposed to be like her roommate or something, and then it turned out to be like Billy's mom and some other asshole. So like they ended up rewriting the entire script because they were just like, fuck it, leaked. Like we got to make it a surprise again.
All right.
Some people wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, no. I mean, but they took the time. They wanted it to be new. They wanted it to be fresh and be a nice surprise for everyone.
Yeah.
When those stupid Ghostface come off and they're like, it's Johnny.
Well, I'm glad they did, because this screams a lot. Like that's a large, well-known horror franchise. Like I wouldn't put it in the same category as like Halloween and things like that.
Yeah.
Just because it's a much different style of film.
Yeah.
But it's definitely in the conversation of big, successful horror franchises.
Right.
Right.
All right, Steve, what else you got?
All right.
Finish up your facts.
I'll just finish this up.
Yeah.
So just as a side note, this isn't one of my facts, but
that's not what we asked for.
Thanks to this movie, people realized that Jason Voorhees wasn't the killer in the original Friday the 13th.
It took this movie for them to realize.
No, like that was a big thing. Like when people were watching it, they're like, "Oh shit!" Like I forgot his mom was the killer in the first one.
She was a mean lady.
Yeah, she's mean.
She was. I didn't like her at all.
Speaking of mean
Gross
ladies,
sweater.
Yeah, dude, she's all crusty.
Hitting teenagers with boat oars.
Yeah, with oars.
Like, come on.
Where do you even get an oar?
Come on.
Well, the boat that was on the lake that they were standing next to, but
shh, no, that's not where that scene took place. Shut up. This movie was sent to the MPAA 9 times.
What is that?
The Motion Picture Association.
No, I don't care about that.
They rate everything. So to avoid an NC-17 rating, they
sent it to him 6 times.
9 times.
9
for
times?
revisions, so they could get an R rating.
So it could have been 9 times crazier?
It could have been a lot more bloody and violent.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It was pretty bloody.
Yeah, I mean, like some of those like gore effects, like you don't really see like insides outside. Like, yeah, you'll see somebody get stabbed or stuck to like a door, but you never really see like the insides get pulled out unless it's like Hatchet.
Yeah, like the end scene was the most intense because it was like the two buddies stabbing each other back and forth.
Oh, it's hilarious.
And it feels so like real. Like it's not like they're cutting away or it's like, a little like cut of somebody just being stabbed and you're like, that was kind of fake. It's like they really had to stab each other.
Yeah.
I mean, not really, but
I mean,
they stabbed
it
each
felt
other.
more real.
And the poor goofy guy, he hammered him a couple times. He's like, I can't take any more of these.
I'm starting to get a little woozy.
He wasn't feeling good.
No.
All right. And are you ready for my last one?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, this is probably pretty common sense, but Neve Campbell and Drew Barrymore never met the voice actor for the caller. And they did that because they wanted to make it actually seem to them that a murderer was calling them.
That was your last Steve fact?
That was my last.
Wasn't that supposed to be the best one then?
Oh, all right. I got one more. I know.
Yeah.
I know all about this movie.
Yeah, give me one more.
Skeet Ulrich wasn't supposed to hit Matthew Lillard with the phone. but his hand was so covered in blood that it slipped, and they kept it in the movie.
Hit me with the phone.
All right.
Yeah,
He did. I mean, you just stabbed him to death, and now you're throwing a telephone
at a
at
phone
him.
at him. You dick!
Oh, well, what a good movie this is.
Yeah, what a fun way to spend an afternoon.
And, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing it continue with Scream 6.
Scream 6.
Can't wait.
Welcome to New York. Ghostface takes in Manhattan.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's Ghostface in Manhattan.
Jesus.
Yeah, they're on like the subway and shit.
Really?
Have you not seen the trailer yet?
No, I don't think
Oh, we might have to
No.
watch the trailer.
It's like Jason in New York. It can
Yeah.
only get better.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
He's
maybe
just-
he'll drown in like
Just got
sewer
the
water.
I Love New York t-shirt, just shanking people in the subway. I'm having a great time. You didn't tell me there was metal tubes full of stabbable people.
Just Frank Sinatra playing in the background as he's stabbing somebody.
New York, New York.
Oh, God, my innards.
Oh, well, thanks for listening, friends.
Yeah, thanks for goofing around.
We'll catch you next time.
Doing a little.
Hopefully we didn't make you scream too much. Ah.
Okay, bye.
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 Ah.
Scream.
My intestine.
Queen.
Scream. What's the next one called? Oh, Scream.
Is it called
Scream.
Scream? Yeah, it's
You mean Scream? We did Scream. Let's do Scream again.